5. The other wicket went via the run-out route. Islam was trapped by Warrican for a so-far top score of 59. The combination of Warrican and John Campbell accounted for Mushfiqur Rahim 38 and Muninul Haq 36. Now, Roach was involved in the run of Najmul Hussain Shanto, who was run out for 25, while he bowled Tamim Iqbal for 9 runs. Shakib Al-Hassan 39 and Lytton Das 34 were at the crease when stumps were drawn. The West Indies handed caps to Jamaica's Nkrumah Bonner and the Bajan pair of Shane Mosley and Kyle Mayers. Meanwhile, Jamaican left-hand batsman Christopher Henry Gale produced a devastating unbeaten half-century to lead Team Abu Dhabi to a 9-wicket win over the Maratha Arabians in the Abu Dhabi T10 League today. Gale used 22 balls to blade 84, inclusive of 6 fours and 9 sixes, as Team Abu Dhabi needed 98 runs to win to go home at 100 for 1 with 27 balls to spare. Earlier, another Jamaican in Abed McCoy took 2 for 20 as Maratha made 97 for 4. On to some track and field news now. Athletes will be tested at least once every 4 days as part of the International Olympic Committee's quest to keep the coronavirus at bay at the rearranged Tokyo Games. The IOC has published its first playbook, which guides athletes and other stakeholders on exactly what to expect during the Games, which are due to begin in July. The playbook confirms that athletes will be expected to take a coronavirus test 72 hours prior to their departure for Tokyo and present evidence of that negative test upon arrival when they will be tested again. As well as being tested regularly during the Games, athletes are advised not to use public transport unless given permission. Those attending the Games will be asked to support athletes by clapping and not singing or chanting, with all visitors required to present proof of recent negative testing upon arrival in the country. Vaccination will, however, not be a condition of entry. The initial playbook is broadly aimed at international federations and technical officials, with more specific additions aimed at athletes, media and broadcasters set for release in the coming days. It will be updated in accordance with changing conditions in Tokyo, Japan, which remains under a state of emergency due to rising coronavirus rates. On to basketball news now. Fred VanVleet set a franchise record 54 points and also hit a career best 11 three-pointers. This as the Toronto Raptors defeated a short-handed Orlando Magic's 123-108 in Florida in the NBA last night. VanVleet made 11 of his first 12 attempts from three-point range as he finished with 17 of 23 from downtown, 9 of 9 from the free throw line to surpass the previous record of 52 points set by DeMar DeRozan against Milwaukee on January 1, 2018. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, it was the most points in an NBA game for an undrafted player, eclipsing the 53-point mark scored by Hall of Famer big man Moses Malone on the exact date 39 years earlier. The Raptors won for the 7th time in 11 games. They beat the Reeling Magics for a 2nd time in 3 nights and for the 7th consecutive time over the past 3 seasons. Orlando has lost 12 of 14. Brooklyn Nets, Boston Celtics, Indiana Pacers, Portland Trail Blazers, and the Utah Jazz also had wins on the night. And now to end tonight's sports package, we present you with Sports Spotlight. In tonight's Sports Spotlight, I want to talk about Tokyo, the Olympic Games. And this is a spectacle that everybody wants to sit down and watch. Whether you're a casual fan or you're an avid track and field fan, you will either sit down in the stadium and watch or sit down in front of TV and watch every 4 years. That is just a known fact. Now, the International Olympic Committee released a playbook instructing on how they would proceed in this rearranged Tokyo Olympic Games. Some of the instructions included in the playbook are that athletes are not able to take public transportation unless given permission to. Also, one of the very important instructions is that athletes will be tested once every 4 days. Also, they will be required to produce a negative test 3 days before arriving in the country where they will be tested again. Now, these are the type of instructions that I believe the IOC needed to put in place to have a safe and smooth Olympics. Now, we're praying and hoping that the pandemic doesn't continue to raise concern and they will put it off, because they said that if they have to put it off again, they will not be holding the Olympics altogether. Are these instructions safe? Do you believe these instructions are safe? I believe so. This has been Sports Spotlight. And those are the stories making sports news tonight. We now head back to the news desk with Shelly and Hill.